All right, guys, Matt and I had TCG here, and who do we have here?
Isaiah, Raphael.
And what did you do today?
I placed 11th in the Prodigy Games Dimension Force Regional.
All right, and before we get started with the deck, do you want to give any shout-outs?
Shout out to everyone that from my locals, Cool Stuff Games, Matt himself, Gio, DJ, Michael Bond, Casey, Zach, going down the list, Justin, Mike Rivera, the whole boys, Kicksroy, all of them. Shout out to everyone, my friends, my family. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So let's see what you played.
I played Live Twin, Pure.
Oh, before the Splight cards, let's see the goo.
Yeah, the reason I wasn't actually prepared to play this deck, but I loaned the person that got second place my Sword Soul deck, and he beat me with it in round 8 at table 2. So that was kind of it was a crazy game. But yeah, I for someone I had 0 testing with this deck, but it's like a hand trap shell, so you can get by without knowing every single thing. It's more so how well you know your opponent's deck than this one. But I think there was still some misplays I made, a lot. But as we can just get into it, this is obvious. 3 and 3. These cards are insane starters. They find each other. They find the other versions that are extenders. They're really good with Forbidden Droplet. I'll explain that later for those who don't know. But I feel like Forbidden Droplet's a live twin card just because of how well it synergizes with these two. So yeah, I played them at 3. And then for the extenders, I played 2 of the one that draws and 1 of this one. This one probably could have came up a few times today, but I was so out of practice with this deck that there were opportunities where I missed the chance to use this to decrease attack points, and then there were multiple times where I would just miss the fact that I could get the draw from this card. And that just comes from me picking the deck up literally less than 24 hours ago and saying I'm gonna play this regional and see what happens with it. But this card's insane. It won me so many games just existing in my hand, because a lot of times the best time to use something like an Ash against Live Twin is on one of your 2 starters, and usually you start with this one, so you want to see this one in your hand to pair with it. So this one is really good. This one's just less good because you really rather have this one. But yeah, one of these, there's not much I have to say about this card. This card only did one thing today, and that was get sent to the graveyard for the Link 4. So just move on. For the hand traps, I played 3 Ash, 2 Crow, 3 Ash, 2 Crow, 3 Infip. So most people are playing Effect Veiler, and I probably should have been playing that card. Looking back on my day, I'll explain why I wasn't, but it's in my list. It just wasn't in the main deck. These I felt were the best hand drafts that helped deal with the matchup I struggled the most with, which was Branded Despia. I feel like this deck has a horrible Despia matchup because your popping cards don't really do anything. So you want to be able to stop Branded in red. You want to be able to stop Lubellion or Albion, and then this just stops Branded Fusion. So I've decided to play these, but I'll explain later. For the Live Twin spells, I played 3 Snitch, 3 Password, 2 Home, not 1, 2. You do want to draw this card. This deck needs extenders to play the game, and this one's a really good one because it works with either twin. So yeah, play 2, do not play 1. I think if you're playing 1, it's not going to go too well. That's it for the Live Twin spells. I played for tech choice slots 3 Droplet, 1 Called By, 2 Cosmic, 2 Talents, and 3 Dimensional Barrier. So for starting with Droplet, this card was fantastic today. My favorite play is normal summoning one of the twins, activating it, then Droplet sending that twin along with any other amount of cards, and summoning the opposite twin from deck using its effect and getting the same value while negating effects. You lose no advantage, it's basically free. This card won me the mirror match. Well, this was one of the 2 cards that won me the mirror match because my opponent was on 2, so he didn't see his Droplet, but I saw mine. And I feel like you play this card at 3 because your Link monsters are also very small. So having this card allows you to maneuver around interaction by getting them into the graveyard and then reviving them. or just like preventing them from being destroyed by battle. So Droplet was insane today.
How do you feel about D-Barrier in the main?
So D-Barrier, this was a surprising one. I thought it would be heads up. I thought it would be very good. It was not. I think Effect Veiler would have been fine in most situations. There was only one game I won today that hinged off of D-Barrier being in the main, and that was against Punk Therian Adventure, where I D-barriered them twice because I happened to Desires and draw Desires into one, and I Kiss a Kill drew into another on the following turn, which was good. However, there was one play that I made with this card specifically involving a card in my extra deck that I will get to later. But it was really good, and I do like playing one in the main, but it's like if I play one in the main, I might as well play three, and if I don't feel like I like three, I probably shouldn't play them. So I feel like I would side deck this next time and just play Effect Veiler just for more hand traps, because I want cards that are better to draw off of the twins since I draw so much. But it was fine. 2 Cosmic, I don't want to lose to Mystic Mind. That's the only reason I played this card. Only reason. And it was fine. It worked really well against Brandon and Red, but it's just for Mystic Minds.
How many minds did you hit with that card?
Not a single one. No one was playing that against me.
No degeneracy around here.
No degeneracy. We love to see it. 2 Triple Texas Talents. I want to play 3. This card was fantastic today. Every time I resolved it against like a Sword Soul player, I basically won that game because their deck actually has no way to deal with this. They'll Qixing Long Young banish like a spell or something just because they know in most cases they're just trying to get the damage. It's better to use the effect than the not. And in doing so, you can immediately just turn off the whole board by taking the Qixing and then using it to pressure them, link it off to whatever you want to do with it. And it's even better if you have twin extenders. Alternatively, it allows you to take hand traps and draw more cards, because that's what this deck really is. It's just a draw card simulator. So like both of his cards' effects are fantastic. It's also how I won my first round, where I was playing against Trickstar branded Despia, and he tried to burn me with Masquerade and Licorice, but I stopped the Masquerade with Infip, and then because Licorice activate its effect to burn and Masquerade, he reincarnated my hand. I drew into Talents, I took the Masquerade, and I attacked him for pain in time. So like he's playing a deck designed to win in time, and Talents was just like, no, I win. So this card was fantastic. I should be playing 3. And then Call by the Grave is the most busted one other than Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 Desires. This card trolled me so hard today, it's ridiculous. It's one of the best cards to see in my hand. It's also one of the worst cards in my entire deck. In my round 8 against my friend, he ashed my Pot of Desires, and I was like, that's great. I looked into my my banish pile, and I banished all 3 of my blues, so like my engine was basically dead, and I drew double Token Collector after he Sword Soul combo, so it was like completely it's still a freaking broken card though, but it trolled me today. And then the tech choice that most live twin players flip-flop on, you should be playing this card. This card is fantastic. It allows you to do more with your extra deck. It also allows you to make Lingeribo a lot more consistently, and the reason why Lingeribo is important is because you get blown out by Evenly Matched, and I didn't want to lose to that card. I also don't want to lose to Call by the Grave, Ghost Bell, DD Crow, any of those cards that come out that punish using the Link Force effect. I wanted to have a way to play around that, and this card performed fantastically every time I saw it. I wouldn't play 2 because I don't like to hard draw this card. I like to search it off of Secret Password. But like, I just love having this card. It's fantastic. You can do so much with it. And that's for the main deck, 40 cards exactly. For the extra deck, obvious stuff. Kiss a Kill at 3, Lil-la Link at 2. This was completely like straight up, straightforward. Not much to really say. Lingeribo, you should be playing this card. This card protects you so much. It can protect you from a set infip if your opponent can't like can't properly like stop your board. If your Sword Soul player has blackout set and they're waiting for you to commit more and more out of fear of you having like home or any good extender, you can make Lingeribo and then turn off their blackout completely. You don't have to worry about it. It's also good playing in the trap decks. They don't always see this play coming, so it's a really good card to just make. Three Trouble Sunny, not much to say here. Like the best card in the extra deck. It's insane. It puts up so much pressure and so much damage and gives you more draws and pops. Unicorn, not much to say. This one was easy. And then the two Spice, because a lot of players I've seen have actually cut on playing both of these cards, and I have no idea why. This card right here facilitates being able to summon both. Against trap decks, you can make Unchained Abomination, use Lil's effect to pop a card, then activate Abomination, pop more, or in your end phase you can pop the Eldritch card. So in the Eldritch matchup, they're trying to outgrind you by setting traps during their end phase. This card pops a card every end phase, so they can never keep tempo. Like this card obliterates that matchup. And there were a lot of branded Eldritches in the room today. And then this card was like, I want to say this card was like super good in the extra deck every time I made it. When it was good, it was worth making, mostly because the co-link effect allows you to add back any spell or trap card, and because of that, I looped Dimensional Barrier and drew a card against my opponent, and like there wasn't much he could do about it, my Branded Despia opponent, and that was my worst matchup. This card is also very good because Branded Despia doesn't play any link monsters, so they actually can't like get their effects back if they can't like beat over this card, and you can stop them from beating over this card by using Lil's pop effect. So you have a combination of two good ways to out your opponent's board, and the only card you really have to worry about is Mirror Jade, but your opponent can't make Mirror Jade like unless they hard draw Fallen of Albaz. That's the only way they can get to Mirror Jade, and like this is a hand trap shell, so you can
stop special summons.
Your opponent can special summon, but special summon monsters that aren't pointed to a link can't activate their effects. So what you can do is you summon one of them, use home, and you have your link set up just like this, and you just recycle your links to its side arrows containing advantage of controlling your board, and your opponent can't play the game. It's like really powerful. You can get this card on field and bust it. And then the Zeus package, this is good for clearing boards, being able to make Zeus and wipe a board, and then if the Zeus is like dead, you can send for home, summon a twin, and do full twin combo. I did that like 5 times today. The deck, it doesn't necessarily struggle to break boards with the links. You got a lot of pressure, but sometimes you need a little bit more oomph out of the gate, and I do like this card for that. So that's the main deck and the extra. And then for the side deck, I wasn't playing anything particularly special. 3 Token Collector. This card trolled me, like I said earlier, where I drew 2 of it off of Desires, but it was all right. I didn't really miss it too much. Like it didn't really win me any of the Sword Soul games, and I played the round twice. I just won that purely by like other hand traps. But in theory, I think it's still correct to play this card. Worst case, if I feel like the hand traps that I play in the main deck and like Effect Veiler are more effective against the Sword Soul deck. So I might cut this card and play something that's better for the Despia deck, which is like Defusion, like a way to get rid of Mirror Jade without like incurring the board wipe effect, because like my deck can't take board wipes. And Mirror Jade, like popping Mirror Jade is just not an option. I have to find a way to get rid of that card. So I might not play Token Collector after this, but who knows. 3 Effect Veiler, these come in when the D-barriers come out. That's the only reason they're in here, but realistically speaking, these should have been in the main, the barrier should have been in the side. That's how I feel about it today. The 3rd Cosmic, this is just for when I need like extra back row removal to deal with like specific matchups, because I want to have chainable removal, but I didn't want to discard for something like Twin Twister, so I played the 1 Cosmic just in case I wanted 3. It didn't really make a difference, I don't think, but there were some nice situations where I could Cosmic something like a Faithful Adventure, so Cosmic is still really good. And then the self-explanatory stuff, nothing really like insane here. This combo is the reason I lost today. My opponent
broken 2
opened both of these cards and Droplet, Moyi, and
review
Vishuda, and I could not play the game. It was tragic. I went first and I lost everything. But it's worth playing just because I don't like, anti-spell. I kind of like having my spells up, and I don't like trap decks, so we play it, and then the rest of this is self-explanatory. This card also bodies the Flunder deck. The Flunder deck literally can't play around this card like at all. so that's why we play it. And then this card is just for like, if it's paired with any other hand trap, you can bully pretty much every single adventure deck. Opening evenly matched plus droplet is hilarious against the adventure matchup. It's just really funny. So that's it for the profile. Yep.
All right. Thank you for the profile, and hopefully to see you at another event.
Absolutely.